Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Super License F1 podcast. My name's Rod.
Well, sorry, I was expecting second syllable. My name is Zach.
Sorry, I was talking really fast, and then I dropped the last syllable on you, so you were probably like, is Rod going slow? Is this a dramatic pause? Didn't mean to
I don't
confuse you,
know.
bro.
Look, after more than a decade of doing this podcast, you got to change things up sometimes. You've got to put on a different pair of underwear for me, Rod. This is what it is. You got to do something different, and maybe that's just changing the setup.
You got to keep things spicy in the bedroom, which is where I am instead of my usual recording situation. So it's very apt. I'm bringing the morning vibes. I'm caffeinated. This feels like my early morning, like check in with my team. And then for you, you're bringing the nighttime vibes, which I normally bring. So how's the mentality? Is it different?
Well, this is the after dark vibes. That's why I went. I went kind of bluish to begin with, when really it should be morning radio vibes. Are you gonna Are you gonna give us traffic updates? Are you gonna Are you gonna tell us last night's news on the ones?
Yeah. And then you're bringing late night vibes, and you said you had a bunch of questions, which, man, getting worried.
Yeah.
I have limits, okay? This is a safe space and a family show. So let's see how we go, I guess.
I've got these interesting feelings, Rod, when I watch Oscar Piastri these days, and I'm having trouble explaining them. Could you help me out?
The drivers in the ice baths, and it just gets me feeling some kind of way. What do you think is going on? We're going to talk about F1 eventually after we stop mucking around.
That was F1. What?
That's as serious as it gets.
What are you talking about?
There's a three-way battle for the title.
There's three-way
shenanigans going on. Yeah, that's exactly right. Three-way. The jokes write themselves. So there's a lot to talk about, but yeah, we are just going to ease into things. And I feel like I was thinking the other day that this might be the last one that we do before really things kind of get decided. It depends how the next few races go.
Yeah.
Things are very evenly poised right now, but I guess this might be the last one. And the next time we do a show, we might be like, well, it's this guy. It's going to be this guy. It's been decided. This guy.
Yeah. What's the schedule look like? Right. We've got Brazil this weekend. Amazing. We love Brazil. And then this is why I have questions. Why are we going to Vegas? We are this part of the season. We've lost America. We've gone. Vegas. Yes. We're out. No more. Thank you, America. You've said your piece. We're back to Formula One world. We have to go to Qatar, obviously. But then, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is creating it. We've discussed this before, right? It's becoming Formula One heritage slowly but surely, because I don't know. It's got a look about it, right? But I now wonder why do we have to go back to Vegas? That really feels shoved in there. Wouldn't it be so much cleaner if this season had 3 races to go instead of 4? And it feels shoved in, like we're going into December this year. Why are we doing that? We don't have to go into December with Formula One.
I think technically we started in February as well. It's one of those years where we start in February and end in December, and it's like, holy hell, this is a long season.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, no, don't be a Vegas hater. Like, just
you're right. You're right. I love my races around car parks or whatever it is. I love the
street circuit.
It looks like someone's dropped an elastic band on their desk, and that's the racing track.
That's the TikTok. Anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, our vibe's good. Things going well.
Yeah. Immaculate vibes. Right. All great vibes. I was in Japan for a couple of weeks, which was great. Then came back. Things are busy, but busy.
Oh, you came back. You decided to come back.
Decided to come back this time. Yeah, I couldn't handle any more famchiki. I couldn't spend my evening. Yeah. What's the traveling tip? Come back.
Come back.
Come back. That's a Terry Pratchett joke. There's or from the Light Fantastic where Two Flower says, "You've got to go home after your holiday, otherwise you won't have gone on holiday."
Yeah.
You've got to go back and remember the times that you had. That's part of the holiday too. That's the joy of it, right? And so,
and they're looking forward to it.
And also definitely looking forward to it. And now we just look forward to, the next holiday, whatever the next thing is.
Excellent. What was the best thing you did in Japan?
What was the best thing I did in Japan? Oh, well, pre-show. People might not know this, but we were talking. I said I put a new top on. I'm wearing a Pokemon top that I picked up at Uniqlo, right? Ooh, right.
Hashtag Pokemon having added to the description of this video.
If you haven't watched any video, this is why you should watch video, right?
Yes.
It's got a big Gengar.
For those listening, Zach's wearing a t-shirt. It's got colors on it in a sort of a pattern, like a picture almost.
Yeah, but it's like a Gengar trading card on the back. Now I like Pokemon, the original series and
Mhm.
stuff, and we were in Nagasaki to go to the Atomic War Museum, the Atomic Bomb Museum, which is incredibly poignant and also kind of very peaceful and loving at the same time.
And the
And
Pokemon shirts are on sale there.
so inappropriate. No, they weren't. They have you do that, and then you go like, oh, okay. Well, what else does Nagasaki have to offer? And they have their history museum, and they have really interesting history and cultural museum. And on our way there, we saw a poster that was like, "Hey, we've got this Pokemon exhibition on our history and culture museum. You should come see that." And I was like, "Yes, we should."
Sorted.
And it was this amazing thing. Like, I'm not all Pokemon mad, right? I like original kind of stuff, but it doesn't rule my life. They had done this amazing thing where they had asked artisans and craftspeople of like historic cultural craft types, like really interesting metalwork, really interesting pottery techniques, all these kind of traditional Japanese techniques. And they'd said, here you can have the Pokemon license to go and create things that are Pokemon themed in your like artistic manner in the crafts that you deploy. And so amazing things that look like artifacts that were all subtly Pokemon themed. And it was just some of the coolest stuff and the most like Japanese thing to stumble upon that this exhibition was on. We were the only people there. It was a pouring down with rain going in there, and it just felt like it couldn't even suggest it to anyone, but it was some of the most amazing stuff I've ever seen. And it made me kind of annoyed that more things weren't like more like cultural franchises weren't used in that way. Like, if I was like, hey Rod, I was in Prague and I saw this like Spider-Man exhibition where like everyone stuff out of Spider-Man out of metal, you'd be like, that was a tourist trap. That's stupid. Like that was a guy in his garage. But this was not that at all. It would be like, it would be like your favorite musical artist being like, hey, why don't you make a song about Pokemon, and then making some amazing thing that's slightly Pokemon themed and it being like a genuinely one of the best songs you've ever heard. That was the kind of level of stuff. So yeah, that was my favorite and the best thing, and not Formula
What
One.
a real surprise. Like, it's completely random to be walking around Japan and see something themed. Like, it's so out of the blue.
It was so out of the blue. But you wouldn't even believe it. It was only the 12th Pokemon themed thing we'd seen that day. Like, one more.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was great. Thanks, man. You took a genuine question, made me feel bad about it. I love it.
Gentle brotherly living that we do, that we're known for, really.
Well, absolutely.
For a week next week, and I've got to find because I've been telling my daughter she wants these toys, these special, everything's about Labubu or whatever these days.
Or Jellycat.
She wants this stuff, and I was like, well, we'll get it when we're on holiday, and it'll make the holiday
more memorable.
Like a little task that we do on our holiday.
You got to have a side mish. Yeah.
Side mish for the holiday. And then now I'm realizing, I don't know where to go to get, like, this is all like specialty stuff. Like, you've got to get the right series. You've got to find the right vendors. And I'm like, does Wellington have many Pop Marts? Or like, so it's becoming a side mish within a side mish to actually find the thing that she wants. But I'm going to do my best.
That makes it fun, though. It does.
Well,
it does make it fun. It does make it fun and special.
Okay. But anyway, well, that's holiday talk done. Park that until after the show when we do holiday talk. But I guess we've got Formula One stuff to talk about. Pre-show, you told me that there's this story up on the Formula One website with like the 5 most important stories.
Yeah. Do you want to try and guess them?
Or speed run them? Or we can try and guess them.
Have you looked at this story yet?
No.
So Formula1.com, it's race week.
Okay.
5 storylines we're excited about ahead of the 2025 Sao Paulo Grand Prix. How do you want to do it? Do you want to... Man, these headlines. I think you could... Why don't you just try to guess one of... Let's start with a guess. What do you think the 5 storylines are? Give me one.
I mean, the McLaren drivers head-to-head would be one of them.
Okay, the McLaren drivers head-to-head. I can't even find... Okay, how the McLaren drivers respond to the title lead change.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's 1 from 5. Here we go. We're on the board. Boom. I'm just looking for the headlines. Lando Norris had the championship lead for the first 4 rounds of the season, but in Saudi Arabia, he was usurped by Oscar Piastri, and now he's been usurped. It's a U-turn of the serping. Is exactly what I'm just reading off the page.
Usurp me? I usurp you.
Yeah. Consider yourself serped. Okay, Okay, give me one more. Come on. What's another storyline out of the 5?
Does Max Verstappen have a penalty? Did I read that?
Oh, I mean, I think you're too deep in this. I think it is
Probably.
just Verstappen's need to stay close. As tough as the Mexico Grand Prix was for Red Bull, and Max Verstappen, the defending champ, actually managed to close the gap to the championship lead. So could he do it? He sits 47 points back. I mean, he's going to need the McLarens to crash into each other twice. And then maybe he could win the championship, which could happen, you know? Yeah, I don't think we've got any
Okay. But there's a bit of Max Verstappen talk.
2 from 2. Yeah, no, that's 2 Max Verstappen.
That, right, great.
Yeah, I'm counting that.
Is there something about just Brazilian fans and Felipe Massa and just the vibes of Brazil generally, or maybe even Lewis Hamilton returning to the place of his greatest championship victory or something? Nostalgic throwback of memories of races past and championships won past.
No, there's definitely something specifically about Brazil though, and this race. It's not necessarily about history of drivers and teams and fans, but definitely about
something about the event or the race. The weekend.
What happens often at this race. Rain. Yeah, another sprint amid unsettled weather. Yeah, because of the sprint and the weather.
Oh, the sprint.
And so the other 2, drivers' future still uncertain. So silly season's well and truly here. When isn't it silly season, right? Am I right? It's the Christmas season. It's silly season. 'Tis the season to find a seat. And then the final one, close fights in the team's championship. I mean, did AI write this? It's like, hey, things to watch out for in a sport as the sport comes to the end of its season. It's close. Right. Who might win? Jump, Rod.
I said it in an offhand way. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered writing notes, but now I'm glad that we did because we've got to have something to fall back on.
Yeah, but there's a celebration to be had, Rod. Somebody's getting married.
There is. So I put in this is funny, and this is why I said we have to do the show on the show. I put in the notes, congrats to Charles and Alexandra on their engagement. And you told me, you read that, and you thought what?
I thought, we must have some pretty active listeners or is it some friends of Rod that we need to... I mean, I didn't know we were doing shout-outs on the show like this. That's so nice of us. And then I read it again, and I was like, oh, Charles. I don't read Charles as Charles.
No.
Unless it's on its own, and specifically Formula One, and it's paired with Leclerc. If it's not paired with Leclerc, if it's just Charles and Alexandra, what do you think I'm going to read? Charles and Alexandra.
I have mixed feelings about this because, I mean, on the one hand...
He's finally off the market, huh?
Yeah, well, I have seen posts along those lines, people being like, I'm done with Charles because, this has ruined the dream that I had, the illusion, the parasocial illusion that I had that one day him and me. I've seen posts like that. Part of me is like, yes, amazing, great. And I've seen a lot of posts that were like, I'm just so happy for them, which is fine, that's great. But this is just normal life. It's just normal stuff that happens. Again, I'm glad for them. I'm not unhappy for them. I'm not unhappy that it happened. But it's also there's been this pushback lately against Formula One coverage of why are we cutting to the garage to show Lando Norris's mum? Why are we cutting to the garage to show Carlos Sainz's girlfriend? There's too much focus on the off-track stuff and not enough on the on-track stuff. And then this happens and everyone goes wild for the off-track stuff. So... I just wish people would pick a lane a little bit, but it's you either care or you don't, or it's relevant or you don't. And I'm not one of the most vocal people to be like, hey, don't cut to someone's partner. It's well, I mean, I don't want them to cut to someone's partner while there's a battle on the track, but I don't mind bringing that human.
Put the engagement in the small screen.
It just has to be done. Well, that's the joke is the full screen is all of the girlfriends and up in the top corner is Lando Norris, not even Oscar Piastri or Max Verstappen, always Lando Norris. That's the correct way to represent the sport. I'm not even against doing it. I don't mind it, but I agree. I don't want it to come at I don't want it to come at the expense of the race inspector.
See, the thing is, this is such a waste of time from Leclerc because if he was going to do it. No, do it. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Charles. You can't be like, I want all the plaudits from my Formula One fans, but not do it at the race in the car. Not it turns out one of those marshals was Charles, was her, and he was meant to, do win the only propose when you've won the race. Do something.
There's already fireworks going off. May as well, turn those into metaphorical fireworks in your relationship.
Yeah, have her waving the checkered flag, and then as he goes over the line, he jumps out of the car and throw some. I don't know. Like, how would you do it?
Well,
What's a
you
Formula
spray the
One themed
champagne, you
engagement?
pour some champagne into the glass, and then she takes a big swig, and then she's like, "What's this? Oh, there's a freak in there."
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
Great moves.
Surely there is. I mean, yeah, that's not bad. I think that's good enough. Or she's in the
It's-
green room when you're on the podium and you go in there and you'd be like, "Oh,
okay.
hey, here's a special thing." But you'd have to make sure the right people were on the podium as well, right? You don't want Lando in there mucking up the vibes.
Specifically him. What a pull.
Mean, unnecessarily mean. Yeah, have you heard, Rod, that if Lando doesn't win the world championship, no one wins? That's how the British media is covering it right now. Like, there aren't any other winners. There's no one else. It's off. That's Formula One was cancelled this year if Lando doesn't win. Oh, well, we're happy. We're happy for Charles Leclerc and his dog.
Guys, yeah. Well done for them.
Yeah, I mean, why is the dog in all the pictures? Yeah, I mean, the Instagram post is just the dog.
I did see that one where they're both kissing the dog on the cheek, and I was like, "Who's getting engaged here?"
Yeah, but then the next photo is like the dog, barely like a face and a dog, and then the other one is they're all on the couch with the dog, and then then the picture of the dog's bow tie. I guess. God, he's a good-looking boy, this Charles, though. My God, how does he do it? He looks like someone playing a Formula One driver in a film. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
A character from Guess Who, like just perfect features in all ways.
He looks drawn. He does.
Yeah.
It looks like he's been animated to be in. Oh,
Good on them both.
It's one of the saddest parts of, I think, of Formula One is that not that I think anyone deserves to win a world championship or anything like that, but just don't we deserve a nice guy to be a winner just once? Like, not a nice guy. Like, I really like Charles Leclerc, and there's room in my heart to really love Charles Leclerc, but I can't. I hold back because I'm not sure he loves himself because he hasn't been able to make it happen in Formula One like I think he could have. And I think time's running out. I don't think you're going to do it at Ferrari. And now the rest of the people are coming through, and Max is going to win everything forever, except if the car's really bad. And I just don't. I don't know. I had more in my heart to give to Charles Leclerc. I really wanted to love him. And I think he's just a sad story. I think he's just a sad story.
Boy,
even though he's incredibly lovely. I want to feel good champion. That, like, I want, the feeling we have when he wins at Monza. I want that for the whole season. Just once. It'd be nice. I think the whole Formula One world could get around that. I think he would be an uncontroversial winner. And we haven't had an uncontroversial winner in a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Anyway. Congratulations. Make sure you check your mail, Rod, in case you get the invite.
You never know.
Do you think all the drivers are being invited?
I mean, the problem with that question is who would not get invited and why?
Why is that a problem for a Formula One podcast
because
that doesn't really cover the races?
Judgments. Then you have to be like, you invited everyone except Max, huh?
Okay.
I think Max is probably high up on the list of people who would get invited. But then you have to go
Max
one way or
going.
the other. You've either got to be like current or former teammates for the last few years, or like there has to be some rule to be like, I'm sorry, Bottas.
This is what I mean.
This was the rule. We could only invite 200 people, so.
Okay. I'm going to run down the list. You're just going to say yes or no, right? We're just going to.
This is easy.
We're just going to. Okay.
This is based on vibes.
Piastri.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Leclerc.
Maybe. Possible.
Lewis.
Yes.
Okay. Russell.
No.
Okay. Antonelli.
I told you this was controversial.
It is controversial. I'm George Russell. I'm so on board for George Russell now. I'm a George Russell fan now, by the way. We can visit that later in the show if you want. Kimi Antonelli.
Fuck me.
I know.
Antonelli, yes. Right sounding.
Why?
Yes.
Because he's Italian.
Because he's got a
You're doing it
name, yes.
purely on vibes. Max, you already said.
Yeah.
Yes, Max Verstappen. Yes, that's 5 out of basically 7. It's almost everyone so far. So, okay.
They're all on one table too, by the way.
They can't bring their girls and partners and wives and husbands. No. Okay, Yuki?
Yuki, no.
Albon?
Albon, no.
Carlos Sainz?
Yes.
A million times yes, but that means
he's in the bridal party.
He's driving the car. He's driving the ring down the aisle.
Driving the limo. Driving down the aisle, you said that.
No, the ring down the aisle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Liam Lawson, no.
No,
right? Yeah. Isaac Hajar?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
French, nice, seems friendly.
Good
Okay.
vibes.
Yep. Lance Stroll.
No, no.
Wow, so
Never
bad.
in a million. He's the least. No, he's the no.
Alonso, someone to hang out with your wife's dads who want to be impressed by someone.
It's someone for your uncle to talk to, right? And get photos with and smoke cigars with. I feel
Yeah.
like Alonso brings the cigars, so he's
Yeah,
allowed
bring
to come.
Alonso.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ocon?
I feel like I say no, but I feel like Charles would say yes.
So yes, okay. So yeah, I'm with you. Behrman barely knows him. No,
No,
sure.
no kids.
No kid. Oh, no kids. Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg. I mean, he's done everything else in his career. Sure, why not?
Except win a race. Bortoletto.
Bortolet, no.
Yeah, Bortolet, no, right? Now I think here's a hard one. Pierre Gasly
Yes,
and Franco Colapinto.
I'd say yes, because his fiance would say, make sure you invite that gorgeous hunk of a man.
Yeah.
Make sure he comes because I want to hook him up with my bridesmaid or whatever.
Sure, and we also don't know who Alexandra's friends with. She might be friends with a bunch of these drivers' partners, and maybe the Formula One.
Very well.
So maybe the Formula One drivers. Who are the Formula One driver plus ones? Like is Ollie Ehrman coming along because Alexandra's really good mates
exactly.
with. You know,
I shouldn't know all this, but I think Sainz's girlfriend's name is Rebecca, and I think that Rebecca and Alexandra are close.
a buds. Okay, so now just so you know, you said 12 out of the 20 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an exclusionary list. There's 8 guys left over who are all going to have to. Who are all like, wait, why didn't I get invited? Like, why is Antonelli going? He barely knows him, and I'm Lance Stroll, and I've known him for my entire adult life. Like, I've spent more time with Leclerc within 1 kilometer radius of Leclerc than I have with my own family, and he won't invite me to his wedding. This is I think that's some cause for concern.
This is going to be a spicy drivers meeting in Brazil.
Yeah,
This is the invite list. There's going to be a few hands
raised.
Good.
George isn't going. That's controversial.
Yeah, well.
Okay, fine. Great. Yeah, too punchable. That's still true. I know. It's true. It's still true. Okie dokie.
Well, that was great. Thank you. And I was going to do this. I was going to say you should have your turn, but the podcast can only go for so many hours. So I don't know, unless there's anyone that you...
No. I called out the ones that I thought that were controversial at the time, right? I think George is going. I think Bortoletto is not. I think that it's mad that you said that George Russell isn't going, because if the other chumps are going, I think it's either you invite basically only Carlos Sainz. Like it's kind of just him. And maybe Lewis. I mean, Lewis is gonna.
Not good. Like it ended badly.
So off-grid drivers right now. Is that what you're saying? Did we say off-grid? I'm coining that term.
Like they were old teammates. Is what I mean. So
they are old teammates. Who else were his teammates? Was it just Seb? And then it went Carlos.
Was it him and Kimi at Sauber? I don't remember who he was with at Sauber. Don't remember.
There's another podcast I listen to. They do a good game. They do like take 2 football players and then try and find a route between them.
No.
Like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but through Formula One. I think it would be fun to try to do that through Formula One drivers. Like, they had to have driven in the same team together.
Right.
I don't know enough about Formula One to make that happen. But how far would you have to go to get from, if let's say Leclerc and Kimi Raikkonen didn't race together, how would you get 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon them together?
I mean, were Seb Vettel and Raikkonen not teammates at one point at Ferrari?
Well, we keep saying that everybody's been Vettel's teammate.
I feel like, I just feel like it was Raikkonen. Didn't Leclerc replace Raikkonen at Ferrari?
Yes.
Didn't they do a switcheroo and then Raikkonen went to Sauber?
Is
that right? In my mind, in my memory, that's right. So, unless you can prove otherwise.
Okay. I can never spell Kimi Raikkonen.
2Ks.
Double K, it's 2Ks. 2K.
It's that middle, it's the same with Bottas. The middle letter is usually the double.
I think I always go to correct myself. Mika Hakkinen.
The Finns love their central middles. Doubles.
Yeah.
Central doubles.
Maybe they should make the N in Finland 2 N's then.
Yeah, or the L. Either way. Finland.
Finland. Okay, I'm on his wiki now. I just want the here we go, Formula One. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. He never raced for Sauber. He went from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo, which used to be Sauber. But I don't think Leclerc ever raced for Alfa Romeo. So that's the switcheroo. I don't think Leclerc and Raikkonen were ever in the same team.
I mean, we're burning time. This is obviously scintillating listening, but now I'm going to have
What do you mean? Isn't this the show?
The pacing is a bit off here, but that's all right.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo Racing, so the year that Kimi started at Alfa Romeo was 2019. And the team that year in Alfa Romeo was Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Räikkönen. And
Leclerc signed with Sauber in 2018 as a full-time driver, replacing Pascal Wehrlein to partner Marcus Ericsson. So
and then, no, that I said that Leclerc never drove for Alfa Romeo, but he drove for Sauber. Whereas Raikkonen never drove for Sauber. Raikkonen drove for Alfa Romeo. It's the same team.
Team under a different name, bro.
Yes, I know.
Splitting hairs here.
But no, my point to split those hairs is that's how you know they didn't drive at the same team together at the same time.
No, you're missing the point. Seb Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen were teammates.
Yep.
The next year, Leclerc and Seb Vettel were teammates.
Yes. So Seb is the joiner.
Vettel is the connected. That's literally what I was trying to get at.
Great. I misunderstood you.
So
I think we should end the show here. I think
just permanently,
I think that's enough.
I think domain name if we cancel now.
Yeah.
The point I was making was Leclerc, Vettel, Raikkonen is 1 degree of separation.
It is 100%. Seb is the join. Well done, Seb. You've done it.
Well done, all of us. I think.
I think next show I'm going to come with 2 drivers and you're going to join them.
Okay. No worries. Easy.
Yeah.
That can be a 3-hour spectacular.
Okay. Tell me about it, Rod. Is Max still in it, though? I watched the last race going, wow, Oscar Piastri, man. Do you know how to drive a car?
Friggin' real-ass Formula 1 talk.
Fuck, yeah.
The 3-way, I mean, everyone's calling it officially a 3-way battle now for the title.
Okay.
And I mean, that's not invalid. That's fine.
Is that wish casting?
I think it's fine for now.
Okay. Fine for now.
Because Max
one more race.
Right. The problem is, yes, one less. The McLaren drivers might need a bit of poor luck, but both drivers, Norris and especially Oscar, have had races where they finished 9th, 8th, which is good as a DNF if Max wins.
Yeah,
it's not out of the realms of possibility. And I mean, the thing is, this is what sells it for me, is that if anyone could do it, Hamilton in a good car or Verstappen in a good car could do it. If it was anyone else, I'd be like, nah, forget it. If that was for George Russell in the same position that Max is in now, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, where did it turn around, right? It turns around at Zandvoort. I'm looking at the results for Max Verstappen. He's 9th in Hungary. He turns up in the Netherlands. He's like, how about I always finish on the podium for the rest of the season? 2, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, and 3rd. Like, let me not. I don't have a bad race weekend in me anymore. And it's just the same time that Christian Horner leaves. So things clear up. They decide to start working on the car again and doing anything to make it good. Yeah, all it will take is one really bad result from either Lando or Oscar and a win from Max, and then it's firmly game on.
Yeah. So what's the gap? Do you have in front of you the gap between the 2 right now?
I do. Let
3.
me
him to the other 2. The point to make is that there's 4 races and 2 sprints remaining. So that's, by my maths, 116 odd points.
Oh my god, that's heaps of points.
This is what I'm saying.
There's endless points. How can these drivers have so many points on their own? What? 350 points. What? There's so many points these days. Yeah. Okay. So obviously Norris and Piastri. It's a single point. What's a point between friends, right?
Normally, I would say that's pretty evenly balanced, except that
Piastri
Norris
has to
kind of
drive
on
a car.
the charge.
Yeah. I mean, Piastri seems sanguine about it. In the interviews that I've seen, he's kind of like, car's drifted away from me a bit, but I'm getting there. I'm getting better. And I think he found something in Mexico. I think he was starting to, when he got on the right tires, I think that there was something there for Piastri. And I don't think he had a bad race weekend. I think there's a lot of weird strategy going on. And I think that he came to grips with the car by the end of the weekend. I think Norris has been to grips with the car for 3 more weekends in a row. The gap to Max is 35 points. So all it takes is for either Norris or Piastri to not finish in the points, or to finish, anything lower than 8th, I think is just bad news bears, and for Max to win a race.
Yeah.
And I think that he could. I think that Brazil. Yeah, I think the next 2 races is especially game on, right? I think Brazil or Vegas. Brazil, because Max is probably the best driver on the grid around any real racetrack, I would say. Barring anything crazy going on, could get some weird weather. We got sprint race this weekend. Stuff gets wild, right? People do weird, odd things. But then in Vegas, straight fight, he's also there. That Red Bull racing car is also now suddenly incredibly fast.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the problem for Piastri is they're both now on the charge. So he's now the one that's looking in the rear vision mirror at Max, but also he's trying to keep Norris within touch, and it's proving hard right now. And every time a driver does badly at McLaren, whether it's Lando or Oscar, Andreas Seidel comes out and he says, Andreas Seidel, whoever. Stella, sorry, right? I get the wrong one. Comes out and says, Stella Artois. He says, this was just one of the tracks that didn't really suit the driving style for that driver. So when Lando has a bad race, he's like, this isn't a Lando track. And then Oscar had a bad one in Mexico. They're like, it's so slippery out there. Oscar doesn't. But like when it rains, Oscar does fine. But then slippery dry track, like this doesn't suit Oscar at all. And they haven't changed the car. I mean, they haven't done anything major on the car. Everyone's sort of saying like, after Singapore, Lando went to the team and said, you have to change this and this. And if you don't, we're not going to win races anymore. It's over, basically, for winning. Do you like winning? Because we're not going to win anymore unless you do this and this. And everyone's like, well, good on Lando for doing that. Sure, good on him for doing that. But Oscar hasn't been able to find that thing to be like, change the setting to that. I need more wing here or less of that there. So those little tweaks that are unlocking something. So Lando's unlocking something. Oscar's not unlocking anything. But he's also all in his own head. And people are like, is he cracking? Is he just falling apart? Is he going to water under the pressure of the championship battle? Which I don't think is that. But I mean, there's the whole... But in the wash of the season, we'll be able to look back and be like, well, let's analyze all the things that the team did to correct the situation in Lando's favor. And let's look at all the things the team did to correct the situation in Oscar's favor, because I think those scales won't balance very well. But that doesn't really, it's still to play for. So I don't want to go there yet. But Oscar needs to just have a good race weekend where he doesn't even need to win. But if Lando wins, he needs to come second. He's just not even within touching distance right now. So that's the challenge. If he can beat Lando, great. But if he can't, he has to be within touching distance. Well,
I wonder about the touching distance thing, right? I think that's a really good point. If you other than the DNF and the 9th in Australia, because Australian drivers aren't allowed to do good at home, that's just the rules. True. Basically Oscar's kind of finishing just below his average. Other than the really hot streak from Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Miami, and then third, and then it's win Spain, 4th in Canada, 2nd in Austria, 2nd in the UK at Silverstone, win Belgium. It's kind of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all the time. So his bad run of form is a 4th in Singapore, a 5th in the US, and a 5th in Mexico. It's not a huge fall off. It is, to me, when I think about all of these races recently, they've been more competitive. There've been more teams at play. I think the weekends have been less predictable, except seemingly for the 2 drivers who are doing excellently in the championship. And I think that in Max's case, it hasn't really been a huge fight with Lando. I think that Lando's been racing very well and teeing up race weekends, a bit like when Oscar was doing it, when it was just kind of like, get pole, get win, get out. And I think it will change really fast again, right? All it takes is some interesting weather. We've got a sprint race this weekend. I don't think we're seeing Oscar's not down in 6th or 7th, right? He's not, or in 10th, or finishing out of the points. And that's why I've been interested, and this isn't the Oscar show, but Mexico, I think was kind of fine. He didn't have a great qualifying. It's the whole race weekend that's the trouble. He's got to work out how to get a whole race weekend together.
Moment, please.
Pardon?
One moment, please.
Oh, of course, sure. I thought you said let me play
Anyway,
this.
no, I think the people who are very charitable towards Oscar will say he hasn't had many bad races this year. There's been a few races where there were like wheel-to-wheel incidents, weird penalties, bad strategies from the team, or he hasn't had many races where he was just out at sea mentally. Mentally, I think this is the important distinction. But that said, clearly, I think mentally he's not confident, and the combination of that plus a struggle or a battle or a perceived battle between him and the car. How do I get more out of the car? And the pressure that adds, plus, it becomes a bit of a self-perpetuating problem. So I'm not saying it is a problem, but it has the potential to be one. That doesn't need to be one.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? And I don't know. I think we got to be careful with the Lando's on the charge. Third in Singapore, second in the US, and first in Mexico. This is a guy who's only the other win before that was the win in Budapest. He's looking good, right? But I think that he's looking good in comparison to the other title contender.
Yeah.
I think that's people are going, yeah, and that's the most important thing, right? But he won by he had a pit stop in his pocket, but that's where all the winners end up this late in the formula, right? It's just kind of like, if you're winning, you've got the best car, it's very unlikely things are going down to the last few laps, especially in that Mercedes, right? If it's not following anyone, no one's catching it. It's so quick. And so you get pole, you're going to win. But I also just don't think that Lando's putting together incredible race weekends. I think that that's how the British media is talking about him. I think he was. That's the one, though. That's kind of the only one. I think he's putting together good race weekends. He is not, other than Mexico, I don't think that people are sitting around being like, wow, Lando's gotten such a hold on that car, he's unbeatable. No, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be talking about Max Verstappen. And we are, though. And I think that I don't think Lando will get knocked around just as much. The one guy who won't get knocked around at all is Max Verstappen. That's why it's so fun, is because he is just going to go I can win every race for the rest of the season. And I'm going to win every race. And there's nothing you can all do about it. And he might just go and do that.
And if he does that, and some other drivers get amongst it, the Charles Leclercs or the George Russells get amongst it and steal a few points here and there from the others, I mean, they would struggle if Max is that dominant or even close to that dominant.
Yeah, I think we'll get down to the final race of the season, and it wouldn't surprise me if we're in a position where it is like, wow, Lando really needs to overtake these couple of guys to get third to secure the championship, that kind of thing. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, I listened to a podcast the other day that was literally an hour and a half of just the talk of just the top three, and I was like, oh gosh, you cover it. Oh my gosh, this is almost exhausting. It's
exhaustive.
We've covered the top three. I feel like we've covered Max's chances and is the dream still alive. But there's one more note here that I do want to get into, which is Lando getting booed in Mexico. Did you watch the race live, or what was your reaction when you saw?
I did watch the race live. Yeah, I did watch it live. I don't know. Fans are weird, right? Like, if you it catches, these things can kind of catch fire a bit, right? Like, if it's like, oh, you're aggrieved, I'm aggrieved. Let's all boo. This is fun. I don't see much in that. It's, what was the problem that they thought that he had the year before? Oh no, that's right. The people were saying that he should have given the place back to Oscar at some point, somewhere, at some race in the season. Is that the call?
Well, one of the local media said, people here hate the Monza switch that Aaron pulled. And then, I mean, because I was trying to think okay, we're in Mexico. Why Mexico? Lando's done well at other races and not been booed. Why is he getting, he did get booed in another race, but why is he getting booed here?
It's because he's
punchable. Like, is it because Verstappen was second, and did Sergio Perez convert everyone in Mexico to be a Red Bull fan, whether he's there or not? And is that, but I don't know. They're saying, locals are saying no. But, I mean, the word, from the inside word is people here. I mean, not to treat everybody like, it's not a monolith.
All of Mexico believe.
Yes, here's one perspective that literally every person, every man, woman, dog, and NB has. They all agree with this perspective that Lando shouldn't have been given that position in Monza. Like, that's crazy. But he said there's a general vibe that was a thing that people didn't like. I mean, it's hard to understand whether the people booing are ultra plugged in or not plugged in at all,
Yeah,
because a lot
at
of
all.
people are like defending, well, yeah, I mean, not me, but like you listen to the Sky podcast or something and they're like, but the Monza position switch makes perfect sense, and if you
Yeah.
paid any attention to the sport you would agree, and I'm like, I don't know about that,
Mm.
but
But it's not as
it's
controversial as boo the guy who's winning the race.
sure. And then also, I mean, I just feel like, and we've talked about on this show before, people overestimate how likable Lando Norris is, and he has his fans, all drivers do, but he can also turn people off. And out
Yeah.
of the three-way battle, because that's what's had all the attention, Oscar, Max, and Lando, maybe they've just decided you're the one out of the three that we don't like, or we like the
Yeah.
least, and so that's we're
Yeah.
just reacting to that.
I think there is an inauthenticity to Lando that other cultures and other people who aren't British see a little bit. Oh, they kind of go like, this guy doesn't seem that like straightforward. Like I find it very, and because there are also lots of other Formula One drivers who you can get behind that are kind of the young up and comer. The kind of like, he's a kid, he's fun, he's in
Maybe.
tune with Gen Z. He's like, he's not that guy anymore. Like, it's not enough. Like, because he was one of the original, like, wear the bucket hat, be cool, go to a
Goofy and weird in an outsider
yeah,
way.
and would stream and would do
Yeah.
interesting things. Right, there was a fun period, and now he's gone. No, I should be, I should be straightforward and try to win some races, which is very respectable. I think he's just growing up, but he is hard to pin down. I find it difficult to get a read on Lando Norris. I actually think he's just a nice guy. I mean, his quotes at Monza at Monaco will always stick with me. That like he would be like, anyway, he has no. Him and Oscar have no. This was last season. Just have no shared like enjoyment of each other at all. Like I actually don't think they like seeing each other do well at all, and I don't think Oscar pretends. I think that Oscar's like, yeah, not great, is it? Whereas Lando would be like, yeah, that doesn't seem like a problem for me, or I don't want to comment on that, or like, yeah, she's kind of, yeah. Whereas,
well, I mean, there was the whole.
It's just not as relatable.
Post Singapore, obviously, in Singapore they bang wheels, and Lando comes out on top, and Oscar makes his feelings very vocal on the radio. And post race, like nothing happened in the race, even though Oscar wanted it to. And post race, there was this like repercussion. They were talking repercussions. Came away with the repercussions are going to happen.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, well, it's something to do with like what order are they going to go out in qualifying? Something minimal, something small. Because Lando was the team felt Lando had done the wrong thing. Not so much that they were going to switch the positions during a race, but there was going to be some small advantage handed Oscar's way. And then in the sprint race in Austin, where Oscar had like Lando outqualified Oscar for the sprint, but Oscar had the jump on the outside, couldn't get it done and got out of it, which is a sensible thing to do. Didn't want to give up too much of his advantage, so he switched to the inside, and then got tagged by like Hulkenberg.
And chopped.
Look, people can say that was that move has a touch of recklessness to it, and so there was probably always going to be consequences there. So like people want to say that's reckless and it was his fault. That's fine. I don't think the two are on a par, but that was like repercussions off, repercussions back to zero.
Back to zero.
That was like for me that is not a balanced way to address that situation. So I mean, yeah, it's clear that sometimes you don't always get the full story on track or even in the post-race interviews either. There's discussions later where someone in an interview will say, yeah, look, we'll talk about it. Things seem fine. I'm fine with it. But then you don't know what goes on in those debriefs where they're like, actually, I'm not fine with it. I think you've got to make some changes here and things have to happen and da-da-da.
Yeah. It's funny. If Max Verstappen wasn't chasing them so hard, I think McLaren would be quite clearly like, yeah, just get out there and race, boys. Don't worry about it. But because he's right there, I genuinely think that they're both of those drivers are thinking to themselves, gee, there might be a point at some point where I'd really like my teammate to hold up Max Verstappen for me. Like really make sure that he doesn't come and get me. And the team at some point will be like, hey, to make sure that one of you wins the world championship, we really need the other guy to pit now to cover off against Max Verstappen. Like, and it's going to have to be the guy who's coming second. And it has to be some sort of detente, right? They can't really fight each other. It was different with Rosberg and Hamilton, where there was no one else. Like those two could just fight hell for leather and go win to loss, and it would be fine. And it was almost the same. It's the same when you've got two drivers who are competing against each other from different teams. That's almost better. This is the worst case scenario, I think, in any Formula One season. You never want the drivers at the same team competing. You want drivers from different teams competing because it's so much better racing. Right now, this feels like we're playing numbers with this championship. And I know we've already talked about it before, but I think they're both not that mature yet. I think this is the first time they've really been here for these things. And regardless of how long they've been in the sport, I could win the world championship question will challenge them both. And I think there's still a few wiggles in this tail. But there's one guy who showed himself to be very grown up. And someone we don't speak about a lot, but he does get talked about a lot because, again, British media bring him up, right? And I think this is good because I think the most heartwarming thing about Ollie Behrman's fourth is that he was ecstatic about it, even though there was a period where he might have finished on the podium. And I thought he might have been a little disappointed at the end. He's fucking blown away. And it was the best. It was so good. Tell me more about it.
A great story from that race weekend. And I mean, it's like for a long time we had, and Alonso said this at one point too, you know who the best three drivers are. You can pretty much pencil in their names as finishing on the podium, probably who's even going to win. But for a long time we had very predictable podiums. And then I feel like this season, for some reason, more or less completely out of the blue, we've just had different, like, random podium getters, whether it's Carlos Sainz, Nico Hulkenberg, and nearly Ollie Behrman. It's been a great season. We've been blessed. Every few races, there's some weirdo podium. And Ollie Behrman, was nearly the next one. But it's also like not just one sort of team that's getting all of those results either. It's sort of mixed around, which is great. And, I think there's a wellspring of support for Ollie Behrman and amongst the sort of rookies that he joined the sport with. And it's just the charge that he needed. And I mean, it's not to say, well, you get one good result, you sort of become a contender for when seats open up in the front running teams, but it certainly doesn't hurt when you can show that you can deliver results when you have the right car in the right circumstances.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think that there's kind of one guy in the front running teams that we're all kind of that I'm a bit like, Antonelli, do you have it? And I'd be watching out because there's, if we looked at those top teams, we go, oh no, it's Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton. Like that's, you could just see 5 out of those 6 seats being filled by those 5 guys in some way. Like they are going to be at those teams in those ways. Sorry, and I probably mean 8 seats if I include Red Bull in there too. So the other guy being Sonoda, and you kind of go like, well, will he? The other seat at Red Bull is the nothing seat, right? Like that's a changeable seat, I suppose. So. Yeah, I mean, you make some waves like Hadjar has done, like Behrman has done, and you go like, okay, maybe there's something. There should be something here for you guys. I mean, previous seasons, maybe these guys are too late. Like 3 or 4 seasons ago, these guys would have been put in the big teams and go like, make it happen.
It's just so. I mean, we don't have to live it, but the idea that a Formula One driver would like fly out to a race probably a day or two early, arrive, get into the paddock, get set up, have a million gajillion briefings, have to do a bajillion interviews, and for all of them to be, so what do you think you can do this weekend? And have to say, 17th,
not finish last.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Be, like if we can get 16th,
if we can finish above our greatest rivals, Alpine.
Why is your car so slow? Why isn't it good? And why are you not good?
And whereas last season in Formula 2, it must have felt great every weekend because you were the best in the best car.
Kind of true. Yeah. So I just I see the potential for people like Ollie Behrman and just his whole team, his race strategists and whatever, to ride that wave for a while. And I hope that they do, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Also, Haas, right? Not so bad. All things considered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and when they've had good race weekends, they've seemingly done okay. Like it's such a weird midfield in that I have no idea going into any single race. I'm just looking down the standings now. I'm like, oh yeah, Albon. Like if he turns up next week and like comes 5th, maybe. Like he finished 5th in Miami and Emilia Romagna, and then other weekends you're like 14th. That sounds about right for a Williams.
One contributing factor is just how close the field is.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to talk about like the 108% rule, but I feel like it's now like, I mean, every driver's within like the 102% rule now. Like, it's so close. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And a little from race to race,
Q2
you don't
is always
need,
insane.
yes,
Every
you don't
weekend.
need
You're always
much
just
to
like,
go
who is
your
it?
way for it to work out and be good. So anyway, that's Ollie. I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
Give me his flowers.
Give me his
Yeah.
flowers. That's it.
He needs it. Okay.
Another
I want
guy
you.
who-
Let's finish strong on these last two things
Yeah,
then.
because they're kind of related a little bit.
Yeah.
Drivers crashing out in one way or another. So in Mexico, big controversy with Liam Lawson nearly like driving down the middle of the road and knocking over multiple marshals as though they were like bowling pins. He was like, what the fuck? Why
What are you doing
running
on the track?
I nearly killed them. Like, what's going on? It's been, I thought it had been dealt with sort of during the race, but there's been a back and forth since then with the race organisers saying, actually, Lawson didn't respect the double wave yellows and didn't slow enough and didn't show enough respect to the fact that there were marshals on the track. He was a bit reckless. And then the FIA have come out and said, actually, what Lawson did was fine, but it's obviously a bit of a messy situation. My understanding of double wave yellows is you're supposed to slow down considerably and be ready to stop if need be. So I guess I've gone through the whole journey emotionally saying Lawson was okay. That's a bit dicey, but Lawson was okay, to like, oh yeah, no, wait a second. Maybe he should have done a little bit more. I don't know.
Why is it that every single year, in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ 2025, and still every year we're having a conversation about at one race in the season, some marshals were on the track when the cars were driving around? Why are we doing this still? It shouldn't be happening, especially in these circumstances. How often do we sit like, oh, there's the marshal running onto the track to grab a bit of debris, under a single wave yellowed and then running off, and you have to be like, what are you doing here? Like, I know the drivers don't want to drive over some debris, but they also like, that's racing. And at the end of the race like this, and it's just not required. Like, what are you doing out there? You shouldn't be out there. Also, Formula One cars under low speeds are tricky to drive. They don't get easier to drive. And so yes, he should be in a position to stop, but a million things could go wrong. Plus, they're kind of blind corners. Yeah.
I feel like
I think he's allowed to be annoyed about it.
I don't know this, but I feel like the marshals get told on the radio, there's a gap coming up after this car. That's your gap. Get out there and do what you got to do and then come back. And I feel like the drivers get told, or should get told, a similar thing. Marshals ahead running on the track. Look out. That seems like a solvable problem. And I don't
little sign.
Really
Yeah, little square sign with an animation of a marshal in yellow,
Fallout style, like
100 meters, next 100 meters, marshals. I've been saying
next 100 meters, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have all the technology. I just don't understand why we're not just working this out. And I'm not saying like there's a tiny bit of thing on the track. Let's have a virtual safety car or safety car every time. That would be annoying too. But balance seems off.
I think this is what surprises people about Formula One, is that this is the only way to run this sport, which is that it's not like the Formula One circus comes to town and puts together a race and then goes on to the next town and puts on a race. It's that, imagine taking a circus to a new town every week, and then the people who put up the big tent, and the people who do the tickets, and the people who make sure that the elephant, is in its cage, are all supplied locally.
Yeah.
And they're all different every single time. It's a mad way to run the sport, and there's no wonder to me that the race promoter and organizer is like, our marshals did nothing wrong, and the FAA, who are like, we regulate the sport, that was bad, that shouldn't happen. We're not in charge of your marshals, but if we were, we wouldn't have let that happen.
In the face of criticism, big bodies with a lot of money at play will point the finger at each other. Of course they will. But
Exactly.
Well,
speaking of big bodies pointing the finger at each other.
Speaking of, great segue. We were both on the same page there.
That's because we
Crashgate. I mean,
I can't believe this.
It's been decades, but somehow we're still talking about Crashgate, and we have Mr. Felipe Massa, Mr. Brazil, to thank for the situation, because he's taken it all to court, to the damn ass court, to the people's court.
Which court did he take it to? Did he take it to
Judge
Cass?
Joe Brown? Amazingly, so
Judy threw it out. Joe Brown is in. Massa Crashgate. What's going to come up when I just Google Massa Crashgate?
I mean, I don't want
Ferrari tried to silence him.
I don't want to necessarily get into the like conspiratorial depths of it, where my mind sometimes goes. But I mean, Felipe Massa has decided now's the time to take the FIA to court to say, hey, you knew that that result had been rigged by one of the teams. You knew before the end of the season, and you didn't take any action or investigate or pause handing over of trophies and things like that. And so you broke your contract with me, basically. And as a result of that, he's also claiming I suffered huge losses because I didn't win the championship that year. And one of the reasons why I didn't is because of that race. And, you know, I mean, this argument's been around for literally decades. And everyone, I mean, I've done videos about it where I was like, look at what would have happened if you eliminate certain teams or drivers or whatever. Massa still loses. In fact, he loses by more. It's very strange, but Massa is claiming you did the wrong thing and I lost out big time, so pay me, players.
I have to just check something.
So
the judge of the High Court of Justice of the Courts of England and Wales, where this case is being tried, is Sir Robert Maurice J.
Okay.
Now, that makes his name the Right Honourable Mr. Justice J, which, when you joked about other fake TV courts, Mr. Justice J sounds like a fake TV court, Rod. So I thought planetf1.com were having some fun with me just then, but they weren't. It's true. His name is Justice J, and he's going to tell you how things are soon.
The people are real, and the verdicts are real.
Yeah, and Justice J isn't, but he is, it turns out.
Everyone has been delighting in the arguments being made by the defense here. When Felipe Massa says, I lost the championship because of you, they're like, well, when you look at that season and some of the things that you did that were a bit bonked on the headed, you know, there's other reasons why you lost, basically. So let's revisit some of them. Let's just bring up some of the reasons. Maybe one of the reasons why you lost the championship was yourself.
Yeah, football match is not one I lost on the last kick of the game, right? Like you hit the post with the final kick. It's supposed to kicking the goal. Think about all the other stuff that happened before then, Felipe. His suits don't look great. I don't know why.
Felipe Massa's suit?
Yeah, Felipe Massa's look right now is a little unhinged.
He buys them from the kids section at Kmart, so I mean, you can't be too harsh.
So for that, pretty good.
Yeah, given what he has to work with, he's doing his best.
Well, that's what I said, that you should give Brad Pitt a break because of what he had to work with in the F1, the movie, the film, the experience. Jerry Bruckheimer, he's hungry for more. He's like, you know what? I want to go back to the Formula One. Apparently, according to this note in the notes that says, have you been reading Variety magazine again?
This is turning into more than just like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we made a sequel? It's turning into like, well, everybody's like whispering like, what if we did it though? Like, what if we actually really did it? And Brad Pitt saying, I don't think Brad Pitt will be back, but maybe he would. But he's saying like, that day, cameo. The last day that I had I could do a cameo. The last day that I had in that car, that was the saddest day of my life because I knew I'd never drive that car again. It's like, oh man, like way to like Betty and you know how much you want to do another one, how much you want to come back. But I mean, you know, apparently Bruckheimer has gone to Hamilton and Hamilton said like, you know, I'm open to it. And we know Formula One's open to it because it served all, it ticked all the boxes that they wanted.
For it, man.
Make
That's all they want.
Make us look really great. And basically like
just
do whatever you can to bring people to, we're not going to we'll give you access to our drivers and tracks and rules and IP, but we're not going to actually worry about anything.
We'll stage a Formula One season to give you the setting of which to film your movie on.
Essentially, yes, essentially.
So can we take bets on I think the Brad Pitt character, what's his name? Sonny Bucky? What was his name? Sonny Hayes. You hate Jones. That you remember and that I don't. You're like, why do I have to tell Zach the guy's stupid name? It's a fucking idiot. Sonny Hayes. Do we think that it'll be like, I'll only race for you if you can get me a great coach? And, you know, the best guy I ever worked with, fucking Sonny Bloody Hayes. And it's like, we can't get him. He's in the Arctic Circle racing World Rally with Carlos Sainz Sr.
He's in the Adirondacks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that will be it. Like it'll be something like that. It's like let's get him in. He doesn't. He can get all his filming done in a day.
And they'll say, "Come in, just talk to us. Come and have a meeting." And he'll sit down and he'll be like, "All right, I'll do it on one condition." And they'll be like, "What's that?" He's like, "We got to Moneyball this shit."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like, no, wrong movie. Wrong movie. We're not
Man,
money
but
boys, money
also
dealing.
I'd watch that.
So we may have another 2-star movie on our hands.
Now, is that out of 5?
3 years.
2? 2 seems strong for you. Have you warmed or
There
cooled
were-
on that film in any way with distance?
Warmed on that film. What is it? Anyway, comments in the Discord after we had our little chat when I pointed out how preposterous it was that you gave it 2 stars and yet said you really liked it. People in the Discord were like, "Yeah, Zach's approach to stars makes sense." Because if you think it's middle of the road, that should be 0 stars. I'm like, that makes no sense. That's what a psychopath does. But it was infuriating that people took your side. I was annoyed.
If you wanna see some truly unhinged reviews, go to Japan and look at restaurant reviews. It's like this meal saved my son's life. 3 stars.
Yeah, he was suffocating, and the octopus got up off the plate and like grabbed his throat and squeezed, and the blockage came out and saved his life.
And unblocked the octopus's own tentacle that had been chopped off and eaten by the child had
Reached
then
down
come
his
out.
throat,
Yeah.
got his little suckers,
retrieved his
and
own
sucked that
tentacle.
chicken bone out. Incredible. 4
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah, no, it's literally like that. They're the harshest reviewers. They'll be like, "This was the best meal I've ever had in my entire life, and I've eaten at the world's best restaurant." I'm talking. These are Japanese reviews. These aren't tourists. Tourists like 5 stars. It was Japanese food. I love Japanese food. Turns out the thing I loved it was the thing I wanted. Amazing, But yeah, they literally are like, this meal changed my entire view on how rice could be served with fish on top of it. You only need to go here, and then you'll never look at fish again the same way. 4 stars. It's like, what does someone need to do to get 5 stars out of these
what
people?
What are you going to do? I don't get it.
Yeah, impossible.
Well, I thought that this may diverge into movie talk a little bit. You seen any good movies lately? I went and saw the one that everyone was talking about, Another Battle After Another. One Battle After Another, which I thought was amazing.
Oh shit! Really amazing. Okay, well that's a good enough
that was
review for
really
me. I want to go see it this week, so I don't know. I don't know if we're a Paul Thomas Anderson household or not. Really, maybe we're about to be. We're definitely a Leo household. I can tell you that much.
He's very good in it.
He's just. I like him.
I think they were banking on him for the movie to make a bit more money than it apparently has.
Yeah,
I really want that movie to do well.
So I can tell you, I haven't seen any really new films except I watched Ballerina on the plane, and that was good. Okay. I like the John Wickerverse. It's fine. It's good. Okay. But I returned to 2 films. So I watched, on the way over to Japan, I watched No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen that in a lot. I think I saw that at the cinema and was like, wow, this film's really good. And to watch it on a plane and just be like riveted by it for the whole time it was on, I was like, maybe I've grown up because this film is amazing. Like this film is genuinely, and I'm having it's affecting me like this on a small screen on a plane whilst I'm eating this food.
If you can do that, that's an achievement.
I was transfixed by that film. So again, if you haven't watched that in a while, just go and watch it. And like, I don't know if they've done anything like, I think that might easily be their best film, but I don't know, maybe, but it's so good. And then I watched, it was funny because we were in Onitsuka Tiger, the shoes that are Asics but aren't. And my wife, she won't listen to the show, so I can tell this story. She was like, I really want a pair because you've really wanted pairs and like everyone else is getting them. Should I get some? I was like, yeah, I mean, if you want them, they're cool. And she was like, everyone's buying the yellow ones. Why? And I was like, well, because of Kill Bill. And I mean, that's because of Bruce Lee, but like because of Kill Bill. And she was like, oh, I haven't seen Kill Bill. And I was like, there's this moment in my, like, there is this tranche, like my wife and I have been together for half of my life. And I'm 37, so 18, 19 years, right? And so there is this weird, small little time period of films that I remember seeing as what I thought when I was a grown-up, but must have come out just before we got together. And Kill Bill fits perfectly into that. So we watched Kill Bill when we got back. It holds up. It's
and
good.
both. She watched part 1 and 2, and she liked it.
We haven't
Came
watched
away
part
knowing
2
that was
yet.
good. Oh, okay.
We were going to watch part 2 last night, and I said, I don't know if I've got it in me to watch part 2, and I think you'll enjoy part 2 less. And she's like, well, that puts me right off it. Thanks, Zach. And I was like, but I think you will enjoy part 2 less.
I mean,
it's
part 1
got the
is
conclusion
action
you want.
and- yeah, part 1 is the action and the story, and then part 2 is like, let's just ride this baby home and deliver that emotional side.
Yeah, but also part 2 is almost more deliberate allusions to cinema that Quentin Tarantino loves, whereas part 1, I think, I don't think you need to necessarily get all of the allusions
Sure, no, that's
to cinema. I think you can
Yeah,
just
that's true.
enjoy it as a film. I think it has
Yeah,
more
that's
broad appeal.
That's valid. It's, unfortunately, after Kill Bill, like Tarantino goes into that phase of just like, I am gonna dictate the terms here, and if
I
say
will make
that my
historical
Western-
fiction forever.
If I say that my Western is going to start with a 3-minute scene of nothing, but you listen to the Ennio Morricone soundtrack, just because I got Ennio Morricone to do a soundtrack, that's what's going to happen. And I started to really turn off him then. And then that worked in retrospect where I got annoyed at things that he did historically. where he did
Oh,
that.
that's frustrating.
And so Kill Bill has touches of that. That's the start
Yeah.
of that, where he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to make the movie this way and you're just going to have to like it. And I'm like, well, I don't like it, actually. So, there's
So fuck
that.
you.
But anyway,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
film talk for another week.
Yep. One battle after another. I'm in.
liked
I'm
it.
so in. Maybe Thursday night. Yeah.
I
or
thought
the
there was
weekend.
nothing to fault it on.
Oh.
And then I recommended it to my friend who more or less likes all the movies that I kind of like, or has very similar sensibilities, a guy I work with. And then he went and saw it and he was like, yeah, it's got a few bits. And I was like, no, don't even talk to me. It's got no,
Yeah,
it's got no
same.
bits. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's great. Back to front. Okay. I mean, that's a good suggestion. I'm interested in the walk or whatever it is as well. The one where all the guys have to walk forever and if you fall behind, you get killed. Apparently that's pretty good too. Kind of harrowing.
Look into that one. Anyway.
I think it's a Stephen King novel that's been turned into a movie. So, you know.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we've got Brazil to look forward to, and then it's Brazil and then Las Vegas. There's a lot of races in quick succession.
Brazil,
So
Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi.
let's do it.
I think that's the
somehow
order.
I've worked it out that I'm in Wellington for 8 days, and there's 2 races while I'm.
Oh, great.
So I'll have to find a
We call
spring.
that pulling a Zach.
Yes,
Is what we call that. You're pulling a Zach.
But anyway,
and
I'll do my
then
best
that'll be
to
it, right?
watch that,
This
so.
is it. One more month of racing. This is it. We've been
I mean,
yelling
it's
for
the
years that
springtime.
we wanted a big 3-way fight for a championship with different personas. This is the one.
Yeah,
This
if
is
you
it.
count
We've got
the
it,
sprint
everybody.
races, there's 6 races in the next month to
Amazing.
determine the championship. What more could you ask for? We
I
will
might
try
even
and
watch
come
some of
back. Dude, I don't know if we want to come back close, like just before
Yes.
the end.
You know what? I think let the racing decide.
I think we
it's
let
su-
the
if
racing
it's-
decide.
If it's settled this weekend, I don't think we need to. If it's like, oh my god, what's going to happen now? Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
I'm still in the back of my mind thinking that I might live stream the last race, especially if it's up for grabs.
Okay.
If something could happen, even if it's looking unlikely but mathematically possible. For example, that Oscar.
I would like to
might
enjoy
live
that with you.
together.
Let's see what the timing is. Yeah. Okay.
We'll try and work. We'll see if that works. But yeah, I mean, we're headed towards, I think, probably I'll do another live stream in a few weeks or something, and then a podcast before the end of the season, and then whatever other shenanigans we get up to, we'll see. The last thing for us to do before we boot this baby home so Zach can go to bed, he buys. And so we should cover, we're obviously on Threads. You can send us an email, superlicencepodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on Discord. You can check us out on TikTok or TikTok or YouTube.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tickety Tockety and YouTube, and run the podcast streaming things. And then the last thing is the website, superlicense.fm. This week the FM stands for
It's a freaking mystery,
Freaking Mystery.
which is a callback to our pre-show chat, but also what the season is looking like. It's a freaking mystery.
Excellent. Thanks for another amazing Gab Fest. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening, everybody. Stay subscribed. Tell your friends.
Don't change that dial.
Don't change that dial. So I guess until next time, I will pull up the music and get that playing.
Look at him, vamp. This is not morning radio energy. You've petered out.
No,
Like
it's
you would have been all over it.
I think
This is nighttime radio.
Lost as well, so we might just need
Not-
to call it and I'll add it in later.
Haven't hit the post.
I haven't hit the post, not even close. All right, there it is. Here we go. So
It's like a
until next
national.
time, my name's been Rod. See you later. Bye bye.
Oh yeah.